Wow, that is amazing. There is nothing like homegrown cantaloupe. I didn't start growing cantaloupe till last year, and it's been really easy in my experience and some of the best tasting melons I've ever had. This morning I'm gonna do just a quick overall harvest, and then I'm gonna go inside and I'm gonna start making some salsa. Like I said in the last video, I just need to go grab some cilantro, and I have some cilantro, so we're gonna do some salsa today, do a really quick harvest morning. It's gonna get really hot again today. I think our high is like 101. So this is one of our last days of like a 7 to 10 day stretch of feel likes over 100. So I'm definitely ready for a cool down. We have some like 80s coming in, and I'm really excited. I had 5 cantaloupes ripen within like a 3 to 4 day period. I have some smaller ones going on, but I think I have 1 or 2 more still on the vine. The second wave of cantaloupes coming on, I should be able to get before our first frost comes. I really need to cut this down today. Even though I don't want to, it's starting to look really sad, and you can't see the really pretty goldy honey behind it. And yeah, this is just really, really dying back. Do you guys see how juicy this melon is? This is crazy. You know, this is the time of year where I could probably make an entire breakfast from my garden, especially with the chickens and having eggs. I currently have potatoes, I have fruit, I have onions, garlic, tomatoes. Make like a little scramble skillet and then have some melon on the side. I made green beans the other night from the garden that we harvested together, and my husband's like, garden green beans. He got so excited. There is something so fresh about a garden green bean. That's heavy. Nothing too crazy this morning, but we did get those 2 cantaloupes too. So not shabby, especially since I just harvested 2 days ago. Before going in, I need to get my seedlings watered. Here is all the broccoli, lettuce, kale, and cabbage we started. So before going in for the day, let's see if we can find any squash bugs. I just found some eggs as I was watering here. Ooh, just found 2. Man, they're in a tough spot too. Oh no, actually it's more than 2. That is a whole cluster. I don't know how I'm gonna get this. Oh, all right, 2 of them dropped. 1, 2. All right. Come on. And 3. Boom. Oh, here's 2 more. This is 3 more. This is literally after I found like 7 last night. We're gonna leave it at 5, and I'm sure we're gonna add to that total later. So I'm getting ready to start the whole process of making salsa. I have a few things set up at the current moment. So I have tomatoes in the sink in a large bowl soaking in some water. I'm about to rinse those off, and I need to peel and chop 14 cups worth of tomatoes. So I'm gonna do a double batch of salsa today. That way I can just really bust out a bunch of salsa. I have everything I need. I have enough tomatoes currently, so I'm gonna go ahead and do a bunch of salsa today. So when you go to do any of like the peeling, what you do is you wash off your tomatoes, you cut an X at the bottom, throw them into boiling water, and then you throw them into ice water. So that shock process will allow you to peel off the skins really easily, especially when you cut the X at the bottom of the tomato. So I'm gonna do this in small batches. Again, I need 14 cups worth. So I'm just going to do 2 cups at a time. I'm gonna mark and tally. That way I make sure I know exactly how much I have going and I don't process too much. I do have a ton of tomatoes here. Like I have a big bowl in the sink. Then I also have this bowl as well. Whatever I don't use for salsa today, I also need to go ahead and just get into the freezer. All the tomatoes I picked today, along with some of the other ones ripening, completely took up that extra table I have. So I am currently just in the process of swimming in tomatoes, and this is a great day to do some salsa. but peeling and chopping a bunch of tomatoes like this takes a little bit of time, so I'm gonna get to it. All right, so when doing any type of blanching, I have a slotted spoon. I'm just going to throw a few in at a time for about a minute or two, and then immediately put them in the ice bath. I will replenish the ice as needed. Probably gonna do like 6 or 7 at a time. All right, I'm seeing the skins start to crack, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull them. And then, as I said, they should just peel really easily. Peeling tomatoes is actually kind of fun. I don't peel the tomatoes when I make sauce. I just run them through my tomato press. But whenever I do salsa, this is typically the one time I do this whole process. So once I got all 14 cups of the tomatoes chopped up and ready for the salsa, I got all the other ones into freezer bags and into my freezer to make sauce with later on. And I also grabbed some garlic and onion for the salsa. So I'm gonna get everything else chopped up now. I have a mixture of peppers today. I'm doing some bell peppers, some serranos, some jalapenos. I have my onions from my onion harvest, same with garlic. And then I'm also going to be chopping up some cilantro. So cilantro, tomato paste, vinegar, and cumin. Those 4 things are the only things in this salsa that I personally didn't grow. So I'm very excited about that. If you didn't know, when it comes to canning and doing salsa recipes or pickle recipes or anything like that, you can change out the sweet and the hot pepper just for your liking. Today I'm gonna do about half and half. That way it's not overpowering, but we still get a good amount of spice because our jalapenos from the garden are so spicy. I didn't wanna do just a full 2 cups of jalapeno, especially when I'm adding some serrano in there as well. Everything is chopped up and ready to go. We have our tomatoes, onions, our pepper mix, cilantro, and garlic. Along with everything we chopped, we have some vinegar, 2 6-ounce cans of tomato paste, and ground cumin. Not sure if all this will fit. If it is, it's gonna be really close. All right, that's way a better fit than I thought it was gonna be. As all of this stuff is kind of coming up to a boil and cooking down, I'm gonna continue to do more dishes. I think this will be like the 3rd, 4th time I've done dishes because I use a lot of the same stuff, and it's just one of those things where I have to do a lot of dishes. Okay, all that's in there. So I need 1.5 cups of vinegar. Last thing, 1 teaspoon of cumin. It smells so good. here is what the salsa looks like after about 45 minutes. It's officially time to can, finally. So here, all I have is a silicone mat lined with a towel. This helps no heat transfer to this counter. Really love having this silicone mat. So I have all the jars hot and ready to go. Salsa hot and ready to go. Everything here, I have my little funnel, my debubbler, vinegar and water with a little cloth just to wipe the rim, and my lid. So I'm gonna go ahead and get filling. I'm gonna take one jar out at a time, fill it to a 1/2 inch of headspace, wipe the rim, put the lid on, put it back in the canner, repeat that whole process until all the salsa is done or I run out of jars. And yeah, let's get to it. So every time I go to fill up a jar, I will kind of just mix up my salsa to make sure everything is mixed up really well before taking a scoop. Beautiful. So here I have my cloth and I'm just dipping it in the vinegar and water, wiping off the rim just in case anything were to fall on the rim. I'm gonna take my lid, take my ring. I'm going to just kind of do it fingertip tight, no more than that, and then transfer it back to the canner. Smallest amount left and 9 pints ready to process. So all I'm gonna do is put the lid on this, turn it on high, wait for it to come to a boil, and then once it comes to a boil, I will set a timer for 20 minutes and then we'll process it for 20 minutes. I'm gonna get the littlest amount of salsa out of this and into like a little container, and I'm gonna give it a little try. This is the silicone mat I mentioned. It just rolls up really nicely, but I'm also going to use this to set my jars onto. So once they come out of the canner, they'll go on this lined with the towel, just like how I did it with the canning. So it's a very nice dual purpose, cheap little item. I think I've had this for like 3 years now, and it's just been one of those things that's come really in handy if you're getting into candy. That's good. I bet I could have made it a little bit hotter, just added more jalapenos than those bell peppers, but overall this has a really good like overall balance. For anyone interested, it's the fresh vegetable salsa recipe from the Ball Complete Book of Home Preserving. Everything is boiling. I'm gonna set the timer for 20 minutes. It's been a little over 5 minutes since everything got done. All I did was take the lid off and let the canner kind of sit for a little bit and settle down before messing with it. This looks so beautiful. Once I get all of this stuff out, I am gonna go check on the chickens. We have a pretty hot day today. It's currently 101, so I'm sure we have a feel like temperature greater, so I need to make sure that they're all cooled off. I also need to collect some eggs for the day. Beautiful. All right, these will just sit here for the next like 12-24 hours as they cool down. Man, looks like something snapped my Goldie's sunflower head off. Actually, there's a whole, I felt like there was something missing. There was multiple of them snapped off. That sucks. Looks like the chickens will get it. But either way, it feels like 105 currently. It's hot. It's really hot. Let's get these girls some ice. Get some ice. All right, so we got 5 eggs today. So I mentioned this a few times now where I really feel like the girls are gonna start going into their first molt, and I was kind of looking this up a little bit more the other day, and it says late summer into early fall, and I've been seeing a little bit more feathers than I'm used to, and I've been getting a little bit less eggs. So I don't know, it'll be interesting to see. So while the girls are still laying, I am going to freeze dry eggs in preparation for the winter. So before I do anything else for the day, I'm gonna go ahead and get these eggs into the freeze dryer. I got the freeze dryer on. I'm not gonna pre-freeze these. It's honestly just gonna be easier to throw the eggs into the freeze dryer because I would need to maneuver through my freezer space at the moment. So I'm just gonna get all of my eggs washed up. Then I'm gonna scramble them per dozen, and I'm gonna put each dozen downstairs on the tray in the harvest rate. So I will pull out the tray from the freeze dryer and pour it in. I did a whole video on me freeze drying eggs. So if you're curious about the whole process, I will link that video, but it's very easy and I loved the outcome. So I'm really hoping to be able to get through the winter when the girls like really truly slow down with laying. I'm really hoping I have enough to get me through holiday baking and various things like that. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of bitter about this because I really wanted to save these seeds. Oh, they're actually really developed. Where are my, I need my pruners. Okay, let's see. Man, there's a lot of really good seeds in this one. Whew. Now you can see the one that actually looks nice. I am gonna save a few heads if they're not completely destroyed. Actually, they're really not that developed. Okay, I'm gonna go throw this to the chickens. It's always a sad day when the first sunflower is cut away. All right, I'm gonna do what I did last time. Check for squash bugs, go do other stuff, and then come back and check for them again. Because apparently they just love to hide on me. Oh, whoop, oh, 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 boy, I just found 3. 1, 2, 3. Got you. They love to hide in the dead leaf patches. They blend in really, really well. I also will move around the fruit. Oh, see, exhibit A, here's 2. Man, they keep going opposite directions. 1, 2. Oh, here's another one. I'll give you guys another example of opening a loofah because did not do a good job with that last video. Is that loofah completely done? Ooh, that one's done. Okay, we're gonna have some fun with some loofah. There's a cluster of eggs. Loofah. Oh, I should probably be prepared for the seeds. Okay. Now I'm just going to peel off this outer skin. The biggest difference I found between one that's dried on the vine, or let me say 2 biggest differences between one that's dried on the vine versus a green one that you harvest at the end. So the green ones tend to be a little bit more white and not as beigey color if you harvest them when they're young, but man, they are a pain to do that with. I actually kind of like more of like the natural looking color. Ta-da! With a sponge. So I did a few things without you guys because my phone just kept overheating because it's so hot out, but I am not mentally prepared for the day shortening. I didn't get half of what I wanted to do tonight done, but I am gonna harvest a few potatoes for dinner tonight. It's already like 8:15. I haven't even started dinner yet and the sun's already going down, but we're here. It's summer. It's not an odd thing if I don't get to this until about now, but I did harvest potatoes, what was it, like 3 or 4 days ago? They were so good. So doing a roasted chicken tonight, so I wanted to grab just a few. I mean, if they're decent size, I'll stop digging, but I think once we get more toward this middle section, the potatoes will get even bigger. But I only did like this little 2x4 area the other day, and all of this is ready. I'm going to harvest potatoes next week. Tonight's harvest for dinner, I will say I might be a little disappointed. I don't know. I've now harvested almost half a bed, and it's not what I was expecting out of that half a bed. I still have a little bit more than half the bed, but I don't know. We'll see. Potatoes are that interesting thing where you just don't know until you dig it up, but we'll see next week when it comes to that. But I still really like the flavor of these, and this is our little harvest for tonight. I almost forgot to water my seedlings I've stashed over here. Hi. How are you? Uh-oh. Was that wet right there? Yeah. It's okay. This way. In. I'm not gonna spend too much time out here tonight. I need to start dinner. If there is anyone, your life is spared one more night. I'll find you in the morning. Okay, so it's the next day, and I ended up getting 4 dozen eggs freeze-dried. These took 20 hours. They just got done about 30 minutes ago. I also got 9 pints of salsa. So I just love how beautiful this salsa is. It looks gorgeous. So I'm gonna get everything dated up and moved to the basement. I now have 12 dozen eggs freeze-dried, which is really, really exciting. So I love adding stuff to the pantry, that's for sure. I'm gonna get this loaded into a mason jar box. It's really easy just to use these to transfer everything into the basement. All right, so we are locked and loaded. I'm gonna go take these to the basement. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you're not subscribed and you're still watching this video, please subscribe to the channel. I'm really trying to hit 100,000 subscribers before October, which is my birthday. I think that'd be really cool. So please do if you are not, and thank you guys so much for watching today. I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye.